legacy. Mark and Will locked in on his legacy. Mailing PRPs in on his legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another great episode of Legacy, where this show is strictly about PRP and male high school. Of course, you got the first host, most Mark and Will. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Hey, Wednesday, what? Thursday, I'm sorry. I'm used to it being on Wednesday, so we got kind of tricked to Thursday. I'm great. Set us back, guys. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean that. Thank God it's Thursday.
Yeah, right. We got a special guest in the building.
Who you got?
Oh, we got Mr. PRP's athletic director.
Nah, y'all couldn't get them on.
I don't think we could. Did we get a word?
I think he said, "Hey, how you doing, man?
Mr. Nick, how
you doing? What's going on?" We appreciate you on the show, Nick. Big time, man.
Absolutely.
You know, opportunity to talk about PRP athletics. So, you know, we're going to hit the ground running. Basically, when did you start playing sports and stuff like that? How'd you get into sports and, like, what age?
Well, I started playing sports when I was born. You know, my dad was a two-time All-American basketball player here at PRP. He played basketball at Alabama. So, you know, we go from one sport to the next. When I was little, we go from basketball to baseball to football to volleyball to, well, you name it, we played it. And that was just me and my sisters. That's what we did. They kept us busy, you know, playing sports and one after the other. We're just a sports family. My grandfather coached. He was the baseball coach here and was assistant basketball coach for a long time. And, I mean, it was just everything we did was about sports, man. I started playing when I was a kid, when I was little bitty.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Since you're from the era that, like you said, played all sports like that. Growing up, which was your favorite sport to play?
Well, you know, my best sport was probably volleyball, but I liked baseball and football. Okay. But I went to public and private schools, and we were just a bunch of football players playing volleyball. We never lost. These East End schools would come out here, and we would stomp them. The East End schools, these Ascension and St. Martha, they come out here, and us St. Lawrence South End kids would just stomp them. And I don't think we ever lost a match. I think we won 4 city titles in a row. But we would go from volleyball. We'd be playing football the same season, and we'd go play basketball. And then I played basketball at Stewart, and you know, it was just all around. But I guess I don't know. Whatever was in season was my favorite sport. I just loved competing. So it was, you know, whatever was in season was my favorite.
Great answer.
Right.
Big time. You know what I'm saying? So you say you went to what, Stewart?
Yeah, Stewart Middle.
Okay. And you said there, did you play football, basketball there? Or?
Well, they just had, back then they only had basketball. Okay. And they had track and field. And I thought I was fast until I did that. And then I realized I wasn't very fast. I was like, hold on, I can't run the 100 meters. I said, no, bro, you need to go the 200 meters. And then they were like, no, you need to go to 400 meters. I'm like, well, I ain't run a track no more. I just play basketball. So
right. You know what, you guys? You know what's so funny? Because, like, you know, of course, older than you guys on the show, but when I played middle school ball, you know, JCTMS, and when they came traditional versus Warner, we had footballs. You know what I'm saying? Like and then they stopped it.
Right.
I don't know when they resumed it, which was one of the best things they did, bring it back and all this kind of stuff. But it's a whole generation, you know, like people just miss that. Like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying? Because I'm already thinking, because you graduate PRP in what year, Nick?
98.
And I'm 92, so I'm thinking they chopped it off.
Right.
And then, man, that's a shame. So you was already, I guess, was you like to pick? To decide to go to high school, was it already determined? Like, soon as you was born, you was going to PRP? Was it already determined?
Let me tell you what. I had a girlfriend, and she was going to Butler. And I asked her, I didn't even know who Butler was. I didn't even know Butler existed as a high school. All I knew was PRP, Valley, and Doss. And
I think
and so I was going to PRP. So I was at that, and they were like, well, St. X has volleyball. I was like, well, I'll look at it. And I was like, no, I'm going to go to PRP because that's just where I always wanted to go. So, but I didn't know where half these other schools were even located.
so. Let me ask you this because that sound bite was terrific. Who is PRP's rival?
Yeah.
Right now, it's Butler.
The school that you did not know existed.
So who was it when you first
Back
got
then, it was different. Yeah, but back then our rival was everybody. It was Valley, Fairdale, Doss, whoever we played. Everybody was
Dixie,
rival.
Yeah.
Western or whatever, anything like they're Dixie or whatever type thing. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was their championship when they beat us.
Oh, okay. Cool. I just had to just bring that up. So at PRP, what did you play?
I played baseball and football.
Okay. What positions in football and baseball?
In football, I was a quarterback from 95 to 98, and then 94 to 97, I guess, the football season. And then Coach Leeser thought I guess because my dad was an All-American, he thought I would be, but he was wrong. And but I played baseball. Coach Miller played outfield, and then I'd becoming a pitcher. So my senior year.
Wow. Yeah, man. Hey, that's two great. You know what I'm saying? Sports and stuff like that.
It's great sports.
Yeah. So okay, high school is over. What's the next move?
Well, I wanted to play college baseball and everything, and I probably could have played somewhere small, but I got a scholarship at U of L as like a student assistant, and they paid my tuition and my books and everything. And Coach Prado was like, "You can walk on if you want." I said, "Coach, I'm not good enough to play here at U of L." So I did that for a year, and then the next year, I always wanted to go to Alabama. That's where my dad went. My mom and dad went to Alabama. So one of my teachers at PRP, she was like, here's this thing called the Academic Common Market. You can go to Alabama and pay in-state tuition. At the time, it was cheaper than Louisville. So I was like, I'm doing that. So I transferred and just went to University of Alabama and became a student, and that was the best thing I ever did. I had more fun there than any time in my life. So it was a blast.
And
then after that, go ahead.
Nick, I'm sorry. Who was the football coach at Alabama then when you went?
Oh, God, we were terrible. It was Mike DuBose. He was the coach right after Gene Stallings. And then he got fired, and then Dennis Franchione came in. And my first year down there was the second worst season in Alabama football history. We were 3-8, lost to homecoming to Central Florida, and got beat by Southern Miss on Thursday night game. So, yeah. So we haven't always been the Nick Saban era of football that we got going on. Yeah.
Hey, that's good. Hey, man, I tell you, that's great, though, man. So what'd you take up in at Alabama?
Well, I majored in they were so nice to me. There was like I majored in American Studies, so I got to pay in-state tuition and history. And then Coach Leeser called me and offered me a coaching job to come back to PRP, and that's how I came back. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, was you like what position coach was you, or was you like freshman coach? I mean, what would you do at PRP when you first came back?
Oh, well, my Coach Leeser had a philosophy where everybody coached offense, defense, and special teams. So you had a position. So like we would spend like 2 weeks where everybody would be offense a day, defense a day, because we didn't have the luxury of like St. X or Trinity to where we had 200 kids on the sideline. So we knew we had to play kids both ways. So if he was going to ask, and his philosophy was, if I'm going to ask my players to play both ways, I'm going to ask my coaches to coach both ways. So I coached quarterbacks. That's what I played. And I coached defensive backs with Coach Evans. And then I coached kickers when I coached the special teams. So I learned a lot doing that too. You have to learn each position, and it was actually good. I really enjoyed that.
And that was a great save right there, man.
Yeah.
That's versatile, baby, to do all that instead of just be
That
stuck
was
on
coach.
one thing.
That was coach.
That's great for real. So okay. So coaching PRP, like, did you go anywhere else to coach, or did you stay at PRP coaching?
No, because shortly after that, Coach Miller offered me a coaching job, and I couldn't turn down Bill Miller. So,
Right.
and I started coaching both, and that was kind of consumed my life there for a while, and so it was two really good opportunities, and I was getting to coach at the school that I love, and there was no other school I really wanted to coach at or be at. I just didn't have any motivation to teach anywhere else, especially in Jefferson County, because I grew up wanting to beat everybody in Jefferson County. I sure didn't want to go coach for them. So,
That's a ridge for you, baby. The ridge is in the house tonight.
Right.
For real. You got your
Yeah. So, what year did you started coaching freshman football?
well, I coached it in two stints. I coached it with Leeser in 2001. No, 2000 and maybe 2002. Fall of 2002. And then when he retired in 05, then I retired for a little bit. And then when Heiser was the coach, I came back and helped them. I think that was around 2009 and 2013.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you remember 440? Kevin Artis and Vincent.
I remember them.
He told me to ask you, do you remember him being there his freshman year? Kevin Artis. That's my cousin.
Yeah. You know what we did with Kevin Artis? We ran IR22, IL21, and gave him the ball, and we rode down the field and beat Manual and upset him that year.
Yep.
And we couldn't stop it. We just kept giving the ball to Artis, and it was like Artis for 5 yards, Artis for 6 yards, touchdown, PRP. We go out there and beat them, and, they don't like losing the PRP. And we went down there, and that was one of my favorite games ever. Kevin Artis, absolute beast.
Who did y'all beat? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
I think they're called Manual or DuPont Manual or whatever they are.
All right, thank you.
They got different names. I don't know.
It depends on what year people graduate.
Right, it does. It does.
Yeah.
They can't figure out if they're the Rams or the Crimson, so I don't, So.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Because he came in as a freshman and y'all put him in running back.
Well, yeah, because no one could tackle him. I mean, that was a
linebacker, right?
Yeah, he ended up playing linebacker too. Yeah, that was his positions. So I think he even kicked. I think he was a kicker too. Kevin Artis could do anything. He was such a good athlete, so big and strong. He was a man playing with boys even as a freshman.
Yeah. Because he was backing up Spielman, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, everybody was backing up Spielman.
He's like, it's nothing.
Spillman was the best athlete I've ever been around. Well, besides Taywan Taylor, Spillman's probably the best athlete I've ever been around. So, yeah.
Wow. So Nick, let me ask you this. So, being coaching baseball, coaching football, how'd you get to be the athletic director? What made you, how did that transpire that you became the athletic director of PRP, the powerhouse, the Ridge?
Football coaching job or the athletic director job. So, and we've been lucky here to have a lot of really good athletic directors. The guy that was the AD before me, he was the absolute best, and I think he loves PRP more than I do. Coach Webb, he was just an awesome, and he still comes around. He still comes and helps. He helps me. We're putting together an athletic Hall of Fame on September 11th. You guys are welcome to come and air your show there on that night if you want to. We're having our first ever. We're starting an athletic Hall of Fame on this year, so we've been wanting to do it, and Craig's been helping me behind the scenes. And we had Russ Klein was the absolute best athletic director, and then George Koch, the first athletic director, he's in the Arkansas Athletic Hall of Fame. He was 6 foot or 7'1", started for University of Arkansas
Woo.
when they were in the Final Four back in the 40s or 50s. Yeah, he was unbelievable. And you know, Brent Lynch is now, he's a big wig in the district, and he did a fantastic job in the years he was the AD. So I love PRP athletics so much. I was always a dream job of mine, and it came open. And let me tell you what, as soon as I found out it was open, I applied that minute. I went home and applied it, and I was just, you know, praying that I could get the job. And luckily, Miss Salyer was the principal, and she liked me. So you know, I got the job, and it was a dream come true. It really was.
Hey, congratulations on that. You say you've been there 6 years? Is that how long you've been there now? Or going on 6? Or
Yeah, I'm almost done with my 6th year. Getting ready to start my 7th here.
okay, now you just dropped the jewel. You said that basically the Hall of Fame is going to be September 11th.
Yes.
Is that when it's going to be?
Saturday, September 11th. Yeah, we're still working out the other details, but we just announced it today. We announced the date and the time.
Let me. And reason why I brought this back up is because, man, how big is the class going to be? I mean, like, because PRP athletic.
21.
Right.
Let me tell you what. We had a committee of all of the former athletic directors, and we went through and we met month after month after month. And let me tell you what was not easy to decide. There's so many great athletes to be here, and so many great supporters and people that have helped our athletics, and so many great administrators that it was very difficult to decide. So we decided to stay with players the first year. You know, so we wanted to honor the players in the first year. And so we decided that we could have put 60 in there, but we had to break it down to like the 21 icons, like from each decade. So we went through like decades,
Oh my God.
60s, 70s, 80s. You know, we're not as old as Louisville Male, but we got a pretty good tradition since 1960.
Yes.
So we went through the decades, and we had certain icons in each decade, and we kind of, that's kind of what we settled on.
So when y'all be announcing who's in that first class?
Oh, we're still working that out. That's going to be the one thing about Hall of Fame is you're trying not to make people mad. You know, some people are going to be, we'll be like, we'll nominate them next year. You know, we don't want to make people mad. So I would say probably about 2 weeks, once we finalize the how much it's going to be and get the catering and everything. But we got the venue, we're ready to roll. But that's going to be the rollout, because we just we want it to be a good fundraising event for the athletic department, and to honor our great athletes that have been through through this hallway here.
Right.
So.
Woo!
That's nice.
That is nice.
That's nice.
And I know that was a hard job, because as soon as you dropped that bomb, I was like, how did this like what's the number? What is going on? Like,
that's nice.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's gonna be nice.
I salute PRP for that one. And I salute you guys, the athletic directors, former athletic directors, that come up with that all the decades and stuff. So that we can't wait for that. That's that's a good one. So Nick, while we got you on here, we're gonna give you opportunity. We're gonna go through some sports, and if I forget a sport, say, hey, let's talk about this. So let's go ahead and start off. Let's start off with basketball. So could you give us, the head coach? We all know he's been on here, but for the people who have not watched the show or whatever, so tell us who the head coaches are of the sport. I guess the update, state of the junior program, of each sport, pretty much. So let's start off with basketball.
Well, my boys basketball coach is John Calipari, but no, it's I told you earlier that I feel like I have John Calipari as the coach, because Coach Kinley is probably the most likable. I don't know if he's full of crap or if he's just that nice of a dude, but he is such a good coach. I'm telling you, the kids love him. I mean, I just feel like I got the greatest coach in the world in Coach Kinley, and we're so lucky. And Coach Baxter too. They've been here for they've given their entire life to this place, and they go above and beyond for the kids. They have, big birthday parties, and they go find them at their house and get surprised. I'm just the little things that they do for their kids and their players is just special. You don't see a lot of people doing that. I always tell my new coaches, I said, what you need to do is go shadow Coach Kinley and look what they're doing, and pick up some tips from him, because he's the best. But I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm not making this up. Z McCown is the best guard we have had here since Andy Pinnock. There's not a question. He does things on the floor that I've not seen here since when we watched Rajon Rondo out here when we ended our 101 game home winning streak we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. Z McCown is like sometimes I think I'm watching the Globetrotters. Oh, wow. He is that good. We played Ballard 2 years ago, and he's going up against that 6'10" dude from Africa, and he dropped 32 on him as a freshman, and he's drives in. He ain't scared. He's like 5'8", 5'7". He goes up, gets his body in, teardrops it over top of him. Best play I've ever seen a high school kid do. I mean, just unbelievable. And then we got a lot of really good. Victor Lado, he's as good a center as there is in Louisville. And then the Gatewood kids are back. They're going to be tough. We got a kid that transferred in from DeSales, the Robinson kid. I saw him play as a freshman. He was all Derby City Jam over here. So let me tell you what, we're going to be really good. This will probably be the best basketball team that we've had since I've been the AD. Wow. And boys. So we're so excited about it. And how we play. We press, we go fast. Before you know it, you're down by 10, and you're calling timeout, and it's a 12-point swing for us. And we still that's the thing that we keep doing. And we're going to be exciting to watch. You guys can come out, watch some games. You might get tired watching these kids run, because I'm telling you, they're talented.
Oh, yeah. That's most definitely on that. So how about, Nick,
girls basketball? Girls?
Yes.
Well, the girls basketball have come a long way. It was about 5 or 6 years ago, we were 9-21, and we only had, it was a struggle because we play tough schedule. We don't shy away from teams, even when we're down. And I'm real excited about the coach we got. Coach Pritchard did a great job of resurrecting our program. He turned it back around, and now we're winning the district tournament every year. That's our first thing. We got to win Dixie. We got to win the district. Our next step is regional tournament. And if we can win our region, we can win the state. If we can beat Bullet East, we can beat Mercy, we can beat Butler, we can win the state championship. Because a couple years ago when the COVID, Bullet East was the best team in the state. They would have won it if it wouldn't have been canceled. So we're right on track. Our numbers are up. We got we got like 26 girls now in the program. We got a lot of talented kids coming in. So I was just talking with Coach Black about an hour ago. We were talking about how excited we are about girls basketball, about the talent that we have coming in and the potential that we have to be in the next couple of years. I think we can compete for a region title here and from here on out. I think we probably, our goal is to win the region, and I think we can accomplish that probably in the next 2 or 3 years. So we're so excited about it. We got a guard, Chandler Duncan. She's pretty good. The Brianna Jones girl, she's big and strong. She can shoot it. She's got a Division I body. If she keeps developing, she's going to be one of the best in the Jefferson County. And then we got a lot of good young ones that come in, and a lot of raw athletic talent. So we're excited about girls basketball.
That's good.
I can't wait.
That's good. That's good. Let's shift to football. Who's the coach?
Football. Mm-hmm. Coach Williams. Tommy Williams is our coach. I think he's in his 5th or 6th year as the head coach, but he's been here. He was here for since 2008 or 9 as an assistant, and I was on the headsets with him from 2009 to 2013. So I know he's a really good coach. He was instrumental in us making the state championship in 2012. And, he knows what he's doing. And, In football is tough, and when our schedule is like playing in the SEC West, it really is. I mean, and if we have a team that's not as big or as fast this year, we're just going to be tough. But this year we're going to be really good. So we had a really good two classes come in. I would say we got one of the best quarterbacks in the district or in the state. It would Tip Anderson. And then the Dixon kid, Jacob Dixon, who came in, he transferred from Trinity, from St. X. He came in and he's about 6'5", 6'6" receiver. He goes up and gets it. He put on a show out of Fern Creek in the 7-on-7, and then we got some Elijah Reed. He's a fifth-year player because he got to be able to come back for the COVID extra year. And then we got some other, and our line's pretty big too. So, last year we're playing with a sophomore lineman, going up against St. X with a sophomore line, and that's not easy to do.
Right.
So, this year they're all juniors, and we got a couple big freshmen that come in. So we're expecting to be pretty good. We're expecting to be really competitive this year. I think, for our district, I think we're gonna fight for it. I think we got a chance of winning our district.
Okay.
Now that's big words because we've never beaten St. X before. So if we can get them here, we got them here. So if we can stay healthy and get to that point, then we'll have a shot.
Nick, let me ask you.
I'm excited about football.
Nick, let me ask you real quick because, like I said, things have changed big time.
Mm-hmm.
When I played, St. X was in our district, male district. So who's actually in PRP district for football? I'm sorry.
It's Butler, St. X, and Manual, and PRP. Yeah.
Sure. Some cats that I don't really. Yeah. Okay. Good. Go Rich.
You got your support. I hear you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's shift to baseball.
Well, baseball, we were kind of down this year with it was baseball. Well, I wouldn't say we were down. We just the COVID threw us for a COVID kind of put everybody in the same situation where we just didn't. I don't know. We're going to be really good in the future. We had a really good young class come in, and we just never clicked together this past year. Our baseball program is based on player development.
Yes.
Our kids developing year after year after year. They're out there right now playing. They've been all today working on drills. They've been here. They're here 4, 5, 6 days a week working everything. COVID shut that down.
Right.
And we were completely shut down for a whole year, a year and a half. So our kids never got to develop. So when we come back in the season and we're restricted on everything we're doing, it kind of is what it is at that point. But our baseball program is the best baseball program in Kentucky, and it will endure, and we're going to be really, really good next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. So we're really excited about baseball. We're always excited about baseball. So, we're
reasons to be.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's a championship program, and they do things in a championship way. There's a reason why they won championships because of the way they run their program.
Right.
So.
How about softball?
Well, softball had a pretty good year this year, and we got some good kids coming back next year. The problem with softball is the numbers is so low at some of these schools. Butler just won a state championship in softball, and they only had like 11 kids.
Wow.
So the numbers are low, and I think we have like 14, 15, but we're young again, and we got a pretty good pitcher coming back, so we're going to be okay. We'll be competitive. We'll be one of the better teams, top 4 teams in our region probably. That's usually where Megan's teams are. So she does a really good job, and she's a great coach. So she'll have her team ready by the end of the year like she does every year. So
how about boys and girls soccer teams.
Well, those are two programs that have really grown. And our girls soccer team has 38 kids,
Woo.
and we if you were to watch them 3 years ago, you would have been like, oh God. And then if you watch them last night practicing, you'd be like, man, they've improved a lot. I mean, they've really. I mean, they're fast. I mean, we got a girl named Jamie Watson that can score from anywhere. She left. I mean, I was watching last night practice, and she left foots a ball from like 100 feet out. I'm like, where did that come from?
Mm.
And then we have a girl playing basketball that's out there. Her name's Jamie. I just call her Jamie. That's our favorite player. Jamie's what me and Susan Webb say. But she's our goalie. She come out there, looked like she played goalie her whole life. So we're going to be pretty good. Our girls soccer team has been to the region semis 2 years in a row. And then, we went from getting mercy ruled to being competitive in 2 years. And our goal is to win the region in girls soccer in the next 2 years. And we think we can do it with the kids we have coming in. And in girls soccer and soccer, it's all about mental. It's all about expectations and having a first class mentality, not thinking you're second class, because a lot of in soccer, it's like you hear this on this side of 65, like, no, we can compete with those schools out there too. So, and it's exciting to watch that program grow like it has. Our boys soccer team is young. We only have 2 seniors. We got about 10 sophomores, about 8 juniors, and then a bunch of freshmen and some 8th graders trying to play up, but they got to play JV. So we're really, really young, but we got some talented kids out there. So it's going to be an interesting season in boys soccer because there's a lot of really good boys soccer teams out there in our region. So it's pretty tough.
Oh yeah. How about your boys and girls track?
But I don't know if you guys ever met Coach Bowman, but he is. Let me tell you what, he came in and went from having about 17 kids to having about 57 kids in 1 year. So, and our boys track team is all sophomores, and in our region is the toughest region there is in track. They're just not. I mean, with Manual, Male, Central, and Saint X, and we're competing right with them. And Coach Bowman thinks we can win the region in a year or two with that sophomore class. And if you can win the region, our region, you can win the state because most of the time the team that wins our region wins the state. So we're right back to where we need to be in boys track, and girls track is making its way up too. We have to start with numbers. We got to get more kids out. So that's what we're focusing on. The girls is getting more of them out. So, but we're ready to roll. We got the kid named Kendrick Jackson. He was running in some national tournaments, and he was placing in the top 5 in these national tournaments. So he's a phenom. The kid plays football too, so he's as fast as anybody. But he's sophomore, so
fly pattern. Is that, coach? That's what. Is that what's going to happen? A fly pattern? Okay. As long as he scored against Man.
Well, he's more running back. So.
I mean,
I tell Tommy that.
Okay, please. I mean, this is
Jesus.
This is Mel and PRP show, so of course, I'm definitely rooting.
I'll tell you what, on October 15th, you can come out and air your show from we play Manual at home, and so you're more than welcome to come out here and show everybody how much you like Manual.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm definitely.
I'll tell you another program. I'll tell you one of our other championship programs here is our bowling program.
Okay.
Where we've won about 9 state championships in bowling.
Wow.
And nobody, I mean, we've won like 9, and they call us the bowling powerhouse.
Okay.
Well, we are. And this year, we were in the state championship game. Or I guess that's what they call it, match, whatever. So we were up 2-0 on Cooper High School, and we were 1 frame away from winning the state championship. And they hit 6 strikes in a row and beat us, and then it was a dogfight from there. And they ended up upsetting us in the very last frame. It was one of the best bowling championships ever, and they were calling it a classic. But and next year we'll be right back in it because we're just a bowling powerhouse. Out here in the South End, we know how to bowl. So
Hey, Nick, you crazy. Nick, let me ask you, how long have y'all been having the bowling program?
we started in about 2004 or 5. Yeah, we won our first state championship in 06. Our coach, she pretty much got a lot of it going throughout the state. So we were one of the first schools to have it.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask you this. Y'all have field hockey, right? Y'all have field hockey?
Yes, we've started field hockey about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, field hockey is field hockey is a foreign sport to our area, but one thing about it is I got a really good coach and she loves our kids. And when the girls get out there and they go and they start hitting the ball around and start playing, they fall in love with it. They really do. And it's a sport here that's been successful because we've been able to field a team and compete and give our kids an opportunity to compete. And we a couple years ago, 2 years ago, before the COVID, we made it to the state tournament, the state champion Assumption. But it was a major accomplishment for us. I mean, it was like we went out and celebrated and had a pizza party and everything because it was a major accomplishment for our kids. So field hockey is something that we want to keep going, and because it gives other kids an opportunity. It used to be Coach Miller. I remember had this argument with him about why are you starting field hockey when you're going to take away players from soccer and volleyball? Well, 5 years later, we got 15 kids on the field hockey team, 38 kids on the girls soccer team, 42 kids on the volleyball team. We didn't take anybody from another sport. We just added another opportunity for our kids to play. So,
Wow.
so we're excited about field hockey because of that, and we're looking to expand to lacrosse too.
Okay.
So lacrosse is a sport we're looking to expand in the spring. In this spring, hopefully the KHSAA makes it a sport because I think that's just it. I just want our kids to have an opportunity to play everything.
Right.
If they want to play lacrosse, I mean colleges, Bellarmine, U of L, Spalding, a lot of these schools have college scholarships, and we want to give our kids at least an opportunity to play those things, and maybe they'll be good at it. We don't know. So,
do you have wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wrestling is it's just wrestling all across the board. The numbers are down. Kids just aren't wrestling like they used to. We used to have 25, 30 kids on a wrestling team. Now we got about 15, 16. But we got some good wrestlers and competitive wrestlers, but it's just a sport that's, I think the way they schedule, they're killing it because when you schedule an all-day Saturday event, nobody's coming to it.
Right.
And, we don't have a rivalry. So, like, we can't be like, hey, Butler, come over here and play. We're going to play y'all on a Friday night, and then the students will come watch it, and then more kids will want to – more kids will say, hey, I want to wrestle too. I want to go slam some kid from Butler, But, if we had more of those opportunities, I think the sport would grow. But the way they do the schedule and schedule the sport, it just kills it because nobody's coming to watch an event all day when they don't know when somebody's going to be wrestling.
Right.
So it's a sport that's killing itself.
Yeah. That's true. What sport did we not talk? We didn't talk about. I know you mentioned it, but did we actually talk about volleyball?
Well, volleyball, we beat Butler last year for the first time in a while, and we took a set from Holy Cross, and that's pretty good for us. Now, PRP was the first public school to ever make the state Final Four in 1995.
Wow.
And 96, one of those years, we had Sarah Drury, Leslie Drury. Sarah played on the Olympic team. We got some tradition in volleyball, so we're trying to resurrect that. We got a really good team coming back this year, but we feel we're going to be competitive amongst the public schools, and we have a chance to. Last 2 years we've been in the Final Four of the regional, and it's hard to beat Mercy. They're with all those travel ball girls that go there, but but we feel we're going to go out there and compete, and we're going to be pretty good. So we got a lot of kids. Our program's real healthy. So it's they're out here battling every day, just like any other sport. So
Right.
I'll tell you one thing we are doing is we're expanding. Here's a publicity for it. We're expanding. We're quadrupling the size of our weight room and training facility.
Yep.
So we're taking our weight room and we're doubling the size of the indoor area, and we're going outside and we're developing an outside training area too, so that we could have one of the biggest weight room training facilities of any school in Jefferson County. Once we get done with it, it's going to be first class. It's going to be really, really nice for our kids.
Wow, that's hey.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's big time right there. Any other sport that we?
I'd like to go off if I don't move my arm.
What'd you say, Nick?
Oh, cheer and dance. The lights will go off if I don't move.
Oh, okay.
But our cheer and dance teams are pretty good.
Okay.
Our dance teams won about a couple state championships in the last 5 years. They're pretty good. They're going to go probably compete nationally again this year. I think we finished 7th in the nation before COVID in one of the dance categories. So our dance program is real successful here. We've always been good in cheer and dance. PRP, here's a stat about PRP. We're one of the only schools to ever win the first state championship in 3 sports. We were the first state champion in gymnastics in the 1960s. We were the first in bowling. We were the first in cheerleading, 2011 when KHSAA had it. And I think we were the first in another sport, but I can't think of it. But yeah, so we've won multiple state championships across the board, and we've always been like the first one to do it. So it's
that's why
pretty exciting.
That's why it's called Legacy. The show's called Legacy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much stuff to talk about, so much great stuff.
We got to get one for football, though, Coach. We got to get one for football.
We were so close. We were so close one year in 2012. I'll tell you one thing about 2012 is I was so proud when we were down in Western Kentucky playing a state championship, and I looked over, and the entire section was filled with PRP fans. And Trinity had, a little section on the other side, but we doubled their crowd. And that was that's amazing. Coach Leeser always called PRP the sleeping giant. And I still feel today that if we ever make it to that point, that sleeping giant will wake up and you won't be able to stop it. So
that's right.
But I guess you got to have that mentality. So
yes,
no,
sir.
you do.
Yeah.
Sir.
That's big time though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, y'all heard it here, man.
Hey.
They broke it down for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, but the good thing is that we on the Mark and Will show. We don't stop with just that. We're gonna talk about some other stuff real quick. We gonna, this, and we know you're gonna rock and roll with this because you know your sports.
Yes, he does.
He's a sports guy, right?
Yes, he is.
He's AD. He's AD. He's AD.
He got to.
Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. All right, we got right here. Basically, this is the thing we do on here: franchise player, all-star player, stat player. So basically, we ranking them 1, 2, 3. We named number 1 franchise player, number 2 all-star player, number 3 stat player. So right now we got the top is shooters, basically the best shooters. So we got Miller, we got Carey, we got Allen. Rank them.
Oh, Curry's number 1.
So he's your franchise player.
Miller's number 2. Allen's number 3.
Ooh.
Ain't nobody shoot better than Curry.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you know what? Because that is such a hard one.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Good one.
That's
Okay.
damn good, a good one.
We got, let's hold on. We're not done. Okay. Cool. All right. This right here, 2 guards. These are the young guns. Franchise player, all-star player, stat player. We got Booker, Mitchell, Murray.
Or was raised a Louisville fan, so Booker's not number 1. It has to be Donovan Mitchell. And then I I would say Murray and then Booker.
Okay.
Go Cards.
Hey, so I ain't gotta ask you if you was a Tide fan or Louisville fan no more. We know you rocking with Louisville.
Well, he's a Tide fan, but he's a Louisville fan. Both. Yeah.
Who you gotta pick first? If you had to pick one, who you rocking with first?
Well, let me tell you what. I went to that football game a couple years ago in Orlando. We cheered for both whoever had the ball.
Woo, Lord have mercy. Okay.
Got my brother sweating.
I know. Had me sweating bullets over here. Had me sweating bullets. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Ooh, good one.
Here we go. Best dunker, 50, 45, 40. In-game dunks. Wilkins, Carter, Jordan.
Best dunker?
During game.
In-game.
In-game dunker.
In-game dunker. Oh, man, nobody's better than Dominique Wilkins.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
I mean, not as a dunker, no way. I guess Jordan would be second and Carter's third, but Dominique Wilkins was a dunking machine, man. I used to grow up when I watched NBA when I was a kid, man. He was just he put on a show. You just watched the game just to see him dunk the ball. Michael Jordan did other things. So I'd have to go with Wilkins as one.
Yes.
So
Yes. That's a good one. All right. Let's do this one. Because since you're into all sports, I know you have an opinion on this one. Heavyweight, welterweight, lightweight. Sugar Ray, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler.
Well, I used to have a nickname for a kid, called him Sugar Ray, because his name was Joe Lewis. He played football down in Kentucky, not Kentucky Wesleyan, but the school that just won the national title, Lindsey Wilson. So I'm going to go with Sugar Ray.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Hagler and Hearns, because Hagler's bald and Hearns has too much hair. So I'm going to go with the bald second.
I love it, man. This is why we do the show. Okay, cool. All right, so basically, we like to give people an opportunity to give a shout out to whoever they need to, their family members, coaches that helped them along the way. So, Nick, the floor is yours. Give your shout outs to whoever you need to, buddy.
Well, I give a shout out, I guess, to my mom and dad, who love PRP probably more than I do, and all the coaches that I've been privileged to be around. I've been around some great ones with Coach Miller and Coach Leeser and Coach Heiser and some of the other greatest coaches there are, including Coach Kinley. So I'd like to thank all of them. They're been instrumental in everything that I've been able to do. So and Charlie Miller and Kim Salyer. Kim Salyer was the best. So.
Plus AD, we'll be there August.
Y'all know she was Miss Basketball, right?
We'll be there August 6th, AD, because my son played receive at PRP.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We got tight ends. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anthony Woods, who played quarterback for y'all on y'all 707.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yes,
he's your son? Good.
Yeah, my boy.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Big time. But, hey, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you. And I know all the Ridge is happy to have you in that seat. You're doing a hell of a job. Keep it up. Ain't nothing like having that true blue genuine, you know what I'm saying? That greatness in there, man. So, hey, I know the Athletics in great hands. And, you know what I'm saying? We definitely will be at games and other things and contacting you big time.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you. You're always welcome at the Ridge.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Market wheel. Yeah. What you know about them Bulldogs and them Panthers? Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. That's right. Legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Mailing PRPs in on this legacy. Let's go. What you know about this legacy? Wednesday night, tuned in to this legacy. Mark and Will locked in on this legacy. Get your popcorn, I know you need this medicine. Let's go.